Your brain is designed to be distracted. It's not a bug, it's a feature, but there's a trainable neurological skill that lets you snap back into focus in 3 seconds instead of 23 minutes. Now, I'm Rian, Doris, founder and CEO of FlowState.com. We've trained everyone from Audi, Accenture, and the US Air Force to use neuroscience-based principles to access flow states at will. Buddhist monks can meditate for 8 hours straight. Navy SEALs maintain laser focus during 72-hour missions. Chess grandmasters analyze positions for hours without breaking concentration for a moment. And yet, so many of us struggle with focus so significantly that we can't finish writing a simple report or completing a basic task without flicking between phone and email 15 times per hour. Now, here's the thing. Those monks, SEALs, and chess grandmasters aren't blessed with superhuman focus. They've discovered something about attention most of us miss. You see, there are 2 kinds of distractions that plague us, and most of us only focus on reducing the first kind. First kind of distractions are external distractions. The phone buzzes, email pings. Now, the second kind of distractions, though, these are internal distractions. Your internal world sabotages focus. You sit down to write, the cursor blinks, then it starts from inside the recesses of your own mind, a wave of irritation about that conversation 2 days before. Your stomach clenches with hunger. Well, what's going on here? Over the last few decades, neuroscientists studying attention have discovered something profound about how our minds actually work. Picture your mind as a vast night sky. The sky represents your awareness, everything you're conscious of at any given moment. Phenomena appear like stars, thoughts, emotions. Now imagine a spotlight moving through the sky. That spotlight is your attention. The spotlight of attention illuminates one star at a time for closer, more precise examination. Awareness is like peripheral vision. It sees everything but nothing clearly. Attention is direct vision. It sees one thing clearly but loses everything else. Here's the critical part. The spotlight of your attention moves involuntarily. When a new star appears in your awareness, a thought about dinner, the spotlight of your attention automatically swings over to examine it. And once hijacked, most people don't know how to get it back. In 2004 at UC Irvine, researcher Gloria Mark was studying office workers. She monitored how long it took for them to refocus after an interruption. The result made heads turn. 23 minutes and 15 seconds was the number. They only studied average office workers, people who'd never trained the exact cognitive skill that separates elite performers from everyone else. Remember those Navy SEALs who maintain laser focus during 72-hour missions? The chess grandmasters who analyze positions for hours without breaking concentration? These elite performers haven't eliminated distractions, both external and internal altogether. That's impossible. Instead, they've mastered a trainable neurological skill that fundamentally changes their brain's response to internal distractions. This skill is known as attention recovery. The ability to detect when your spotlight has drifted and redirect it back in seconds creates 2 radically different types of performers in our attention-fractured world. Let's call them the pinball brain and the boomerang brain. The pinball brain, when stimuli appear, the salience network dominates. No prefrontal override occurs. In brain scans, you'd see prolonged default mode network activation, scattered task-positive network engagement, and elevated amygdala activity from mounting stress. Like a pinball bouncing uncontrollably from bumper to bumper, each distraction sends it shooting in a new direction. Now consider the other type of brain, the boomerang brain. These performers have built different neural architecture over time. They've strengthened their prefrontal control networks, enhanced connectivity between the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex. So when irrelevant stimuli appears, these brains show rapid disengagement. Their executive control networks override the automatic salience detection in seconds. Throw a boomerang and it always returns to your hand. This brain works the same way. When attention gets pulled away, it curves right back to its starting point within seconds. Attention recovery is critical for flow. A 2018 study by Marcelo Barros from the Federal University of São Carlos in Brazil, he found that flow states show massive engagement in attention networks. Blood flow surges to focus regions. Their key finding, flow is highly connected to the mobilization of attentional resources. Here's what this means. Flow depends on the act of attention recovery. Every time your spotlight gets pulled away, you're ejected from flow. But when you can recover attention in 30 seconds instead of 23 minutes, each recovery of your attention becomes an opportunity to extend and deepen your flow state rather than having it ripped away from you. Now, by the way, if you want a free guide that breaks down the exact attention recovery techniques I'm about to share, including the neuroscience behind them and step-by-step protocols, click the link below this video to download it instantly. Now, here's what's fascinating. For thousands of years, humans have been training the skill of attention recovery, but they've been calling it something else. meditation. When meditating, you're dealing almost exclusively with internal interruptions. Traditional meditation instructions say to gently bring your attention back to the breath when this happens, but most people think they're failing when their mind wanders. But here's what's actually happening neurologically. Each time your attention gets pulled away from your breath and you notice it happened, that's one rep of attention recovery training. Assuming you return your attention to the breath, you're strengthening the exact prefrontal control networks that create the boomerang brain. Every meditation session involves dozens or hundreds of reps of this exact sequence, this exact attentional mechanism. Notice faster, redirect faster. Meditation is attention training in its purest, most direct form. Now that you understand the mechanics, you can build these exact neural pathways through 3 methods. Firstly, treat work as a form of meditation. Your work itself can become meditative practice. In traditional meditation, you use your breath as an anchor. When attention wanders, you notice and bring it back to the breath. At work, you use clear goals as your anchor instead of breath. Like the breath in meditation, these clear goals give your spotlight of attention a precise place to rest. Clear goals are like runway lights for a pilot in fog. Without them, your attention circles endlessly. With them, you have a precise landing strip. So here's the protocol. Before starting any task, write down your clear goal. Make it so specific there's zero ambiguity about what you're doing right now. Then begin working. As you work, you're training those 2 critical speeds. When you notice your attention has been captured by something else, that's detection speed. You're strengthening the neural networks that monitor where your spotlight is pointing. The faster you catch the drift, the stronger these monitoring networks become. When you redirect back to your clear goal, that's recovery speed. You're building the prefrontal override pathways that can suppress irrelevant stimuli and re-engage task networks. Over time, what used to be a 10-minute YouTube rabbit hole becomes a 10-second glance. You're rewiring your brain with each rep. Second, meditation is training for work. The inverse is equally powerful. Formal meditation directly trains your work focus by providing concentrated reps of attention recovery. When you sit to meditate for even 10 minutes, you might notice your mind wandering 30, 40, 50 times. That's 50 reps of strengthening your boomerang brain, the neural architecture of those Navy SEALs, those chess grand masters. Now, third is the recovery protocol. Think of this protocol as training wheels while you build up your attention recovery muscles through treating work as meditation and through training for work with meditation. Here's a reliable protocol called the flow state breath reset. Firstly, the moment you notice you've drifted, take a breath in through the nose for about 3 seconds. Then hold for 2 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 10 seconds. This 3-2-10 breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system through vagus nerve stimulation. It suppresses amygdala activity, reduces norepinephrine, and creates a clean neurological break between the distraction and your return to your chosen object of attention. Then immediately after the breath, physically rewrite your clear goal. If you were working on draft email introduction paragraph as an example of a clear goal, but got pulled into checking news, don't just vaguely return to email. Write a fresh, specific clear goal, like write 3 sentences explaining the proposal timeline. This physical act of rewriting re-engages your prefrontal cortex and gives your attention more clarity on what the object of attention that you are choosing to redirect it to actually is. By the way, we've put together a simple attention recovery toolkit that includes guided protocols for each of these techniques. You can download it for free. Just click the link below, pop your email in, and you'll get it in seconds. All right, so you now understand that slow attention recovery causes more damage than the distractions themselves. You can't control every distraction, but you can control how quickly you detect the pull and how fast you recover. Every workday has dozens of interruptions. If each one costs 23 minutes, you lose your entire day to recovery lag. But when you detect drift in 3 seconds and recover in 30, those same interruptions barely register. The compound effect is massive. With faster attention recovery, you can access flow state repeatedly throughout the day instead of once or twice if you're lucky. And since flow can amplify performance by up to 500%, as McKinsey's research shows, you're operating at a fundamentally higher level. You've now learned to recover from distractions in seconds, but there's a critical piece you're going to want to add to your quiver, which is preventing attention fatigue between flow block deep work sessions. Watch our active recovery video next. It'll show you how to sustain peak focus all day without burning out.